Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of our podcast where we dive deep into the world of personal growth and development. Today, we're exploring what it means to be an authentic coach and how authenticity plays a crucial role in navigating the inevitable challenges that arise in the coaching journey. As coaches, we often find ourselves at the intersection of empathy, guidance, and sometimes tough love. Balancing these activities while staying true to our core values is what makes a coach really authentic. In this episode, we'll explore the various challenges coaches face in their practice. Whether it's having difficult conversations with clients, dealing with resistance, or facing a lack of progress with a client, these challenges test our ability to remain authentic. We'll examine practical strategies for handling these situations while ensuring we don't lose sight of who we are as coaches. The goal is to provide you with some insight and tools that will help you overcome these obstacles and strengthen your authenticity in the process. I initially thought I would pack all of this into one podcast, but there's really too much to unpack. So navigating coaching challenges will be in two parts, one today and one next week. Now here's what you can expect from today's episode. We'll start by discussing some of the common challenges that coaches face, from understanding client needs to managing expectations. Then we'll dive into the art of navigating difficult conversations and an area where authenticity is often tested. After that, we'll tackle the issue of resistance, what it looks like, why it happens, and how you can effectively manage it without compromising your authentic coaching style. We'll pepper our discussion with some real-life experiences and examples of how I and other coaches have handled these challenges. So, whether you're a seasoned coach or just starting out, this episode is designed to equip you with the knowledge and confidence to navigate the many challenges of coaching, all the while staying true to your authentic self. So let's get started. Let's start by looking at the common challenges facing coaches. Number one, understand client needs. Now, one of the most fundamental challenges in coaching is truly understanding each client's unique needs. Now, every client has a unique set of goals, aspirations, and obstacles that can sometimes be unclear even to them. And as coaches, our role is to help clients articulate their needs, which often involves digging beneath the surface of their initial statements. This requires active listening, asking the right questions, and sometimes challenging the client's assumptions about their wants. For instance, a client might come to you expressing a desire to advance their career. On the surface, this seems straightforward, but through deeper conversation, you might discover that their true need is not just a promotion, but a recognition, and a recognition about work-life balance, or even a shift in career paths. I recall, for instance, a client of mine who on the surface presented me with a career issue, but underneath there was really a very deep spiritual concern. And I had to work through that to get to, I had to work through the challenge of what he presented initially, and to get to the spiritual concern that he was really concerned about. Now, understanding these underlying needs is crucial because it allows you to tailor your coaching approach to what truly benefits the client, rather than just addressing the top of service, rather than just addressing surface level concerns. Secondly, balancing empathy with objectivity is another challenge. And that's really finding the right balance between empathy and objectivity. Now, as coaches, we naturally want to be empathetic, to understand and relate to our clients' emotions and experiences. Empathy helps build trust and rapport, as we found out, creating a safe space for clients to open up. However, there's a fine line between empathetic and becoming too emotionally involved. The challenge lies in maintaining objectivity while still being empathetic. Now, if we become too emotionally involved, we might lose our ability to provide clients with unbiased guidance. On the other hand, if we're too detached, we risk coming across as cold or indifferent, which also can damage the coach-client relationship. To strike the balance, practicing self-awareness and reflective listening is critically important. Acknowledge and validate your clients' feelings and guide them towards a broader perspective. Encourage them to think critically about their situation and use their objectivity to help them see possibilities they might not have considered. For example, when a client is frustrated by a lack of progress, it's essential to empathize with their frustration, but also to objectively analyze what might be holding them back and how they can move forward. Another challenge is time management. Now, coaches often face the challenge of managing time effectively, especially when working with multiple clients. Now, each coach or each coaching session requires preparation, follow-up, and often additional communication between sessions. Now, balancing these demands while also ensuring that each client receives the attention they deserve can be rather daunting. Now, effective time management involves setting clear boundaries around session times, organizing your schedule, and ensuring you're not overcommitting yourself. It also means being efficient during sessions, and staying focused on the client's goals and avoiding distractions or unnecessary tangents. Also, time management isn't just about managing your own time, but also about helping your clients manage theirs. Now, clients often struggle with time management themselves, and part of your role is, as a coach, is to guide them in prioritizing their goals and taking actionable steps with them within the time that they have, and making sure that they're moving towards those goals. The fourth area is client expectations. Now, managing client expectations is another really common challenge. Clients often come to a coaching with high hopes and with specific expectations about what they will achieve and how quickly results will come. While it's great to have motivated clients, unrealistic expectations can lead to disappointment and frustration, particularly if they are not met. As a coach, setting clear, realistic expectations from the outset is essential. This involves being transparent about what coaching can do and what coaching cannot do, the time and effort required to see results, and the fact that progress may not always be linear. It is very often circular. So we're going forward, taking a step back, going forward, taking 2 steps back, going forward. But the important thing is that we're always progressing to the end. So it's important to have an open and honest conversation with your clients about what they can expect and what they can expect from the coaching process, and to regularly revisit and adjust these expectations as you go through the process. For example, a client may expect to achieve a significant career change within a few weeks. But as their coach, you may need to explain that such a transformation usually requires months of work. I usually suggest at least 3 months of work before we begin to start to develop the resume. Now, that 3 months of work goes through a whole host of things, including self-reflection, skill building, and job searching. By managing these expectations early on, you can help prevent disappointment and keep the client motivated throughout the process. Now, by addressing these common coaching challenges head-on, you can better navigate the complexities of your coaching practice while staying true to your authentic self. Now let's discuss difficult conversations and some strategies on how to deal with them. Now, as a coach, difficult conversations are inevitable. They often arise when a client is not progressing as expected. Perhaps the client is resistant to feedback, or when sensitive topics must be addressed. Now, these first steps in managing these conversations is all about recognizing when they are necessary. This could be when a client consistently misses goals, or displays a lack of an engagement, or when underlying issues such as self-doubt or fear are hindering their progress. Ignoring the need for these conversations can lead to stagnation, or even a breakdown in the coaching relationship. Now, it's crucial to approach these conversations with clarity and a constructive mindset. You need to understand that while they may be uncomfortable, these conversations are essential for the client's growth. Now, here are 6 strategies for effective communication in dealing with difficult conversations. The first is active listening. Now, one of the most effective strategies for navigating difficult conversations is active listening. This involves fully concentrating on what the client is saying verbally and non-verbally, and responding thoughtfully. Active listening helps the client feel heard and understood. It helps diffuse tension and helps create a more open and honest dialogue. Now, to practice active listening, focus on the client's words, their tone, and the body language. Reflect back on what you've heard to ensure understanding and ask clarifying questions to delve deeper into the issue. For example, if a client expresses frustration with their lack of progress, you might say, I hear what you're feeling, and I hear those feelings are about frustration. Because you haven't seen any progress that you expected. Can you tell me more about what's challenging you? Secondly, there's nonviolent communication, or sometimes known as NVC. Now, nonviolent communication is a powerful framework for handling difficult conversations. It embraces and emphasizes expressing needs and feelings without blame or criticism, preventing defensiveness and promoting a more proactive and productive discussion. Now, nonviolent communication involves 4 key steps. The first step is observations. So you start by stating the facts without judgment. For example, I've noticed that you've mentioned feeling stuck in the last few sessions. And then you move on to feelings. Express how the situation makes you feel. I'm concerned because I want to ensure we're progressing toward your goals. And then you move to needs. You're communicating your needs or the client's needs. For instance, I believe we need to explore what might be holding you back so that we can express it together. And then follows a request. And a request is to ensure that you make it clear and actionable. For instance, would you be open to discussing what's been challenging for you and how we can approach it differently? Now, using nonviolent communication can help keep the conversation focused on solutions rather than blame, making it easier to navigate difficult topics. And thirdly, there's ensuring that we're framing the feedback constructively. Now, when giving feedback during a difficult conversation, it's important to frame it constructively. Start with positive reinforcement, acknowledging the client's efforts and the client's progress thus far. Then present the area of concern as an opportunity for growth rather than a criticism. For example, instead of saying, "You're not putting in enough effort," you could say, "I've seen how committed you are to this process, and I think there's an opportunity for us to explore how we can better align your actions with your goals." What do you think might be getting in the way of all of that? Now, this approach encourages the client to think and to solve problems without feeling attacked. And fourthly, there's handling emotional reactions. Now, difficult conversations can trigger strong emotional... Pardon me, I gotta take a drink here. Now, fourthly, there's handling emotional reactions. Difficult conversations can trigger strong emotional reactions, including defensiveness, anger, or even tears. As a coach, managing these reactions with empathy and professionalism is important. First, you need to acknowledge the client's emotions without judgment. For example, if a client becomes defensive, you might say, "I can see that this is a sensitive topic for you, and I appreciate your willingness to discuss it." Now, this validation can help the client feel understood and less threatened. Next, give the client space to express their feelings. Sometimes simply allowing the client to vent or express frustration can diffuse the situation. Encouraging them to articulate their emotions by asking open-ended questions like, "Can you tell me more about what's coming up for you right now?" This gets to something that's behind the meaning of what they're saying, and also provides some space so that they can express their feeling. Finally, being calm in a supportive way brings the conversation back to the issue at hand. Now, remind the client of the shared goal, the goal that you and the person has agreed to, and that you're there to help them achieve their desired outcome, and how addressing the difficult topic is a step toward that goal. Reaffirm your commitment to supporting them through the challenge and working together to find a solution. Now, here are 3 examples of difficult conversations. Number 1, addressing the lack of progress. I've noticed that we haven't made as much progress towards your goals as we initially planned. I'd like us to explore what might be getting in the way and how we can move forward effectively. Number 2, addressing inconsistency. I've observed that there's been some inconsistency in following through on actions we've discussed. I want to understand what's been happening and how we can ensure you feel fully supported in this journey. And the third one is confronting resistance to change, which is really a big one. You could say something like, "It seems like there's some resistance to exploring new approaches." I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what might be causing that and how we can work through it together. Now, navigating difficult conversations is a critical skill for any coach. By approaching these conversations with empathy and clarity and the right strategies, you can turn potential obstacles into opportunities for a deeper understanding and growth, both for your clients and for yourself as an authentic coach. Because we're learning often during the process. We're learning from the individual's perspective, and if we are reflecting on our own self in relationship to our client, then we're learning about our own reactions. Now let's turn to those resistant clients and dwell on several strategies on how to deal with them. Number 1 is understanding resistance itself. Resistance in coaching is a common challenge that can manifest itself in various ways. Clients might resist change, and that's a big one. Avoid difficult topics, or be reluctant to follow through on agreed upon actions. Now, the resistance often stems from underlying fears, insecurities, or discomfort when stepping out of their comfort zone. It's important to recognize that resistance is a natural part of the coaching process. It can arise when clients feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or fearful of the unknown. And fear is a big thing that often it causes them to be resistant. As a coach, understanding the root causes of resistance allows you to address it more effectively and support your clients in moving forward. Now, resistance can take several forms, such as defensiveness, procrastination, minimization, and excuses. For example, a client may become defensive when faced with feedback or suggestions, shutting down or arguing against the coach's perspective. Some clients may consistently delay taking action or avoid tasks that have been discussed in the sessions. Clients might downplay the importance of certain issues or goals, avoiding deeper exploration of areas that are uncomfortable for them. They can get engaged in frequent justifications for why something hasn't been done, and that really can be a sign of underlying resistance. So recognizing these signs early on is a key to addressing resistance before it becomes a barrier to progress. Now, here are some techniques to overcome resistance. Making sure that you're building trust and rapport. Establishing a strong foundation of trust and rapport is absolutely crucial for overcoming resistance. Clients are more likely to be open and cooperative if they feel safe, understood, and supported. And we have learned that building trust involves being consistent, reliable, and genuinely interested in the client's well-being. So show empathy by validating their feelings and experiences, and reassure them that resistance is a normal part of growth. By creating a non-judgmental space, you can encourage clients to explore their resistance without fear of criticism or rejection. Now, for example, if a client is hesitant to tackle a challenging goal, you might say, "It's completely understandable that you're feeling hesitant about this. The change can be intimidating, but I'm here to support you every step of the way. Let's take this one step at a time and see how we can make this process feel more manageable for you." Secondly, there's motivational interviewing. Now, motivational interviewing, sometimes known as MI, is a client-centered technique designed to enhance a client's motivation to change. It involves guiding clients to explore their own reasons for change and resolving any kind of ambivalence that they may have. Motivational interviewing is particularly effective in overcoming resistance because it empowers clients to take ownership of their decisions. Now, here are some key principles for motivational interviewing. Number one, expressing empathy. And notice how often empathy comes in this conversation. So, expressing empathy really means showing understanding and acceptance of the client's perspective. Number two, developing discrepancy. Help clients see the gap between their current behavior and the goals that they want to achieve, which can motivate them to make changes. Number 3, rolling with resistance. So avoid direct confrontation. So instead, acknowledge the client's concerns and work with them to explore the alternatives, as we talked about earlier. And fourthly, supporting self-efficacy. So reinforce the client's belief in their ability to change. And that's absolutely critical. People can change, but they don't believe that they can change. And so it's a mindset that we have to work at. For example, if a client resists setting specific goals, you could say, I hear that you're unsure about setting concrete goals right now. Let's talk about what's important to you and how we can align that with actions that you feel right for you. What would make you feel more comfortable with this progress and with this process that we're into? And fifthly, there's reframing resistance as a growth opportunity. I really like this one. Resistance can be a powerful signal that a client is on the verge of significant personal growth. So reframe resistance as an opportunity rather than a setback can help clients view it in a more positive light. So encourage clients to see resistance as a normal part of their journey, as an indicator that they are confronting something important. For instance, you might say, I've noticed that you're feeling some resistance around the topic. This could be a sign that we're touching on something really meaningful for you. Often, when we resist something, it's because it challenges us to grow. So let's explore what this resistance might be trying to tell you and how we can use it to move forward. By helping clients reframe their resistance, you can shift the focus from avoidance to explorations, opening the door to deeper understanding and progress. Now, here are 3 case studies on how the coach dealt with resistance to change. Case study 1, the defensive client. A client consistently reacted defensively to feedback, making it difficult to discuss areas for improvement. To overcome this, the coach focused on building trust by expressing empathy and validating the client's feelings. The coach also used motivational interviewing to help the client explore the reasons behind their defensiveness, leading to a breakthrough in their ability to accept and act on the feedback. And case number 2, the procrastinator. Another client was struggling with procrastination, repeatedly delaying tasks that were crucial to their progress. The coach worked with the client to identify underlying fears and beliefs that were fueling the procrastination. By reframing procrastination as a sign that the client was facing an important challenge, and by breaking tasks into smaller manageable steps, the coach helped the client gradually overcome their resistance. I think of one individual who delayed moving on her startup business because she was blocked, realizing that she was preparing her business plan for me. But when she began to understand that the business plan is for her, that's when the whole dam broke. And she sat down in one night and developed her whole business plan. Now, case study number 3. I call this the minimizer. A client tended to minimize the significance of their challenge, avoiding deeper explorations of issues that were critical to their growth. And the coach addressed this by gently challenging the client's minimization and encouraging them to reflect on their potential. By creating a safe space for the client to explore their concerns, the coach helped them recognize the importance of tackling these challenges head on. So overcoming resistance is a vital part of the coaching process. By building trust, using techniques like motivational interviewing and reframing resistance as an opportunity for growth, you can help your clients navigate their challenges and move closer to their goals. Remember, though, resistance is not a roadblock. It's a sign that meaningful change is possible. And as an authentic coach, you have the tools to guide your clients through it. So this ends part one regarding the challenges that coaches face with their clients. And so far we talked about navigating the complexities of coaching and the importance of blending empathy and strategic thinking and deep understanding of the human experience. As an authentic coach, you're tasked with guiding clients through their goals and the challenges that inevitably arise along the way. From identifying and addressing common coaching challenges to managing the more difficult conversations, each step in the coaching process demands careful consideration and careful skill. Understanding common coaching challenges is the first step in becoming an effective coach. By recognizing issues like resistance, lack of clarity, or misalignment of goals early on, you can address them before they hinder your client's progress. Building trust, maintaining open communications, and staying adaptable are key components in overcoming these obstacles. Now, difficult conversations are inevitable, and they're really a part of the coaching journey. But they also represent opportunities for growth and transformation. By approaching these conversations with empathy, clarity, and a commitment to constructive feedback, you can help clients navigate through their discomfort and emerge stronger on the other side. Techniques like active listening, nonviolent communication, reframing feedback can turn these challenges and those challenging moments that you experience into pivotal points of progress. Dealing with resistant clients requires patience and a nuanced approach. Now, resistance is often a sign of deeper fears or uncertainties. And by addressing these underlying issues, you can help clients move past their barriers, whether through motivational interviewing, reframing resistance, or growth opportunities, or revisiting and adjusting goals. Your role is to guide clients toward renewed motivation and engagement. Now, in our next podcast, we'll continue with the theme of navigating challenges and discuss the challenge of dealing with clients' lack of progress and strategies for reigniting that progress, and as well as outlining successful outcomes. And we'll also provide some tips on sustaining that success over time. I hope you'll join us. Now, let me know what you think about this discussion in the comments below. And if you're so inclined, please subscribe to this channel. And I thank you for doing so. In the meantime, thank you for listening, and continue becoming the best you can be as you search for for your true self. I'm Richard Fontanie, signing off for now. I'm looking forward to meeting you again next Wednesday. Bye for now.